I'm at live. Okay. Hello today and welcome to another video. And today we're going to be talking about how I passed the FIFA Agent Exam. And I'm Gaucho Brian, FIFA License Agent. I'm going to be giving you the tips on how to pass the FIFA Agent Exam. But first, before we go to it, onto that, do you know what the pass rate was for the FIFA Agent Exam last time? Anyone can guess? It's a very low rate to write when you write the exam. It's quite very low. So most of the time, you hardly get a 50% pass rate. Let's say, for example, if 10,000 people register, you get like an example, 2023, 10,000, about 10,000 something people registered. And we saw a pass rate of about 19%. So it's quite low, which means maybe there's no preparation for the exam, or maybe there's less information. Maybe people think it's easy. But anyway, we're going to run through some few tips, and I'm going to let you know what to do and how I passed the exam. But before then, let's see how everything goes. So first, let's talk about what is the importance of the FIFA Agent Exam. And as usual, before I forget, I'm going to also be looking at some questions that will guide me, and I'll give you the solutions so that it will make it easy for us about the notes I took down. So what's the importance of the exam first, by the way? So we all know FIFA has regulated the license agency, the agency, that you cannot be an agent without passing the exam. So that's why you see more and more agents who were intermediary before 2015, before 2015, trying to write the exam or pass, 2015, just representing players. Right now, you have to have a license which is being issued by FIFA, and every football agent can also license can be checked on the platform, so there's no hiding anywhere. So, but by the way, the important is that if you want to become an agent, you have to have a license. There's no more parents being an agent or whosoever, third parties, whatsoever we might say. We all know the situation that happened with Carlos Tevez and Mascherano long ago, when they had an issue of third parties representing them. So this also brought the agency, or brought FIFA into trying to regulate the agency. So that's the important. So take note, that's the important, that you have to have a license, an official license, before you represent a player these days. Apart from that, you are not an agent. So let's look at also the problems and challenges. So what challenges do candidates face when preparing for the exam? Okay, so we know the exam is quite complex, and it has a lot of difficulty about talking about the law. The exam also is set by, what is this exam actually made of? It's made up of law questions. Let's give an example. They can ask you a question like, how long is a representative agreement between a football player and an agent? Maximum, the answer for that question maximum is like 2 years. But they make it in the exam, because it's so short time, they are not going to really ask you straight. They might ask you, but they're going to always try to complicate it, to maybe put it in a way that you think before you answer the exam. So those are the things that they are quite tricky. So the exam is quite complex, and also people maybe are less prepared of the exam, thinking that maybe it's easy. So that's why I say we have a very high failing percentage. So, okay, why are these challenges significant? So they are significant. These challenges are significant because, first, we see that people don't prepare the exam very well, or if not, but even if they prepare, you cannot read. It's like 600 and something pages. To read those pages is quite hard. You have to find a structure to learn all those things, because the way the exam goes is, it's a multiple choice question that the computer just picks 20 questions and give to you. And each individual has different questions. So you might be writing with your friend, and the friend has different answers from different questions from you. So it's totally different world when you get into the exam. And then the thing is, the time is so short that if you are writing the exam, let's take, for example, each question has to be maximum 3 minutes. And then if you don't know question 1, you begin to have a panic, maybe you have a little bit of anxiety situation or panic attack that, oh my God, am I going to make it? Because each question you know that you're going to answer, you have to spend only 3 minutes because there are 20 questions and you have to spend, there are 20 questions and you have 60 minutes. So you see that the situation becomes more complicated. So if you read and prepare for the exam and have a more structural approach, and also because the exam is an open book exam, the exam is an open book exam, but when you don't read, you don't have time you don't have time to even open the book for the exam to refer to whether your answers are right. You don't have time, so you have to have a lot of note preparation structurally that you have done before you can be able to maybe go through the exam or pass the exam. So let's take, for example, if you are preparing, you have to have read a lot. You answer some questions, then some you verify from the book. Those are the strategies that people can use. So, but anyways, let's move forward. So what is the structure of the FIFA Agent exam? What is the structure? The structure is multiple choice questions. There are multiple choice questions that are being given that you have to answer them. These multiple choice questions can be like three to four, three answer right and one wrong, because there are four answers. Or sometimes they can give you just a single, they can give you four answers that you choose just one. And sometimes they can give you four answers that you choose three. So it's quite tricky. So, and know in mind that if you, so you have to have all the three right. So that's where it makes it more tasty. So let's look at what are the topics. What are the key topics to study? Okay, the key topics to study is, first, if we look at, because when I pass the exam, this is where I'm going to give you the tips. When I passed the exam, I had to do some studies. I had to shout out to former agent of, the agent of Mesut Ozil, former Real Madrid national player, Dr. Eckert. He was the one teaching me, and or I enrolled or paid for classes for him to teach me. So it was quite good that I got the pass of the exam due to his study and experience in the industry. So, but what I'll say is, what topics you have to study are, first, the FIFA agent regulation, RSTP. That's the RSTP, which is the longest chapter in that book. And also, then you can also try to now look at, because the RSTP has like 30% of the questions. The FIFA agent regulation has like 40%, which means that's already 70%. Then now, if you can start looking at key definition and start reading all parts of the book, but these two parts, you have to focus on them. Of course, you have to read also, try to always look at key definitions, the FIFA clearinghouse, the football tribunals, all those things. You have to just try to go through it gradually. But these two parts, I said, cover 70% of the question. That when I was reading, I made sure I knew basically everything in this place, in this part, in this chapter, these two chapters, because I tried to structure my reading, because there were 680 something pages. It's just so difficult to read all those pages, and it was tough. But what I did was I had to I came up with an approach that the doctor that my mentor advised me, that okay, this is a structure you're going to read, do like this, but you have to know that the FIFA agent regulation has 40% of the questions come in. The the RSTP has 30%, and then the rest 30% can be coming from different places. So try to read as much as as possible those two places. So that is a big thing I've already given you guys. Big idea that if you focus even on just that part, and then you start, let's say, looking at definitions of various places, the dictionary code, the ethic codes, all those things, just try to get familiar with the book. It can help you. So those are the effective strategies that you can use. You also try to use also the FIFA the FIFA study materials very well. Try to read it. I also had I had an audio on my car that I usually, when I'm going to driving anywhere, I play the audio. It reads me some questions. You read about the book. I'm trying to get few tips on everything. So I was studying school and also studying while driving. Anyway, so I just made sure then if I was also maybe doing a work, I made sure I had an earphone that I will benefit from that, just listening. So every time was like just trying to prepare because the exam is quite tough. If guys, if 10,000 about 10,000 people write an exam, then you hear of 19% pass, which means it's quite really low. So those were the things I was really looking at and also paying attention to. Okay, so with this also, these are like very good tips I've given you. Try to keep an eye on, just start preparing earlier. That's what I'll tell you. But focus also on those things. Then after, make sure you answer a lot of more questions from the platform. Do a lot of more questions, answer from the platform. Prepare also if you have a friend that is also writing, that's good also, because that was also what I did. Study groups. I did study group then also, but when I noticed that if someone was not serious, I then start to do it on my own. But if you have a friend, because you people can share knowledge, it's quite great to prepare like that. Okay, guys, I think these tips are enough for you to take and add it with what you're doing and try to prepare for the exam. So don't don't hesitate to put a question if you want any more, if you want more things about this. Leave a comment below and I'll be onto it, and then we can see where we go from there. I'll also be creating a book about this, how to effectively pass the exam, because I have done it, and with my experience reading these things daily, I can also help you guys pass as what happened to me. So because I had to work hard to pass for the exam, so I can also help you guys achieve this feat. So do not forget to subscribe, like, and share on YouTube, and keep an eye on the various videos coming out. Take care and see you next time. Bye. Cheers.